All right, everyone. Now we turn to the UK for some international news. Apparently, they have begun identifying areas, specifically in London, although I do believe there are other cities doing basically the same thing. There are areas in which phone theft is a really big thing. Basically, what'll happen is you'll have your phone out and someone will just grab it and then speed off on a moped or a bike or something like that. And so they've stolen your phone, they get resold, and your data probably gets stolen too, along with all your nudes and shit like that, from your tourist adventure in the prostitution district, I suppose. So their phones get stolen. Well, what does the UK government do? Does it A, increase policing in those zones and say, well, that'll probably, well, I mean, the UK police don't even carry guns, so I don't know how many people it would dissuade. So, but whatever, the Bobby might be able to, reach out with the billy club and hit him off the moped, I suppose. Once in a while, this could be a thing. Uh, A, dissuade them through policing, or B, paint purple strips on the sidewalk warning people not to stand too close to the curb. The answer is B. This is typical UK fashion. So, in other words, what the UK government is telling people is that the onus is on them. And part of the sidewalk, which is however many meters wide, they probably don't call it a sidewalk, but it's called a sidewalk because that's where pedestrians are. You're there's an exclusion zone now. It's sort of like the Gaza Strip, I suppose. There's an exclusion zone next to the curb with billboards reminding you that pickpocketing and phone theft are common in that area, so to be careful. Now, normally, a reasonable, rational person understands the possibility that in certain urban areas there might be theft and pickpocketing and things of this nature. People don't really need to be reminded of this. What they need to do is protected from it. But the UK's government has chosen not to do that. Instead, it's painting lines, warning you, keep away from the curb, and they spell it differently. Again, I don't know if sidewalk is actually the term used. It's probably like quibbledy, cobbledy, paving region or something like that. It's probably some fundamentally British term that makes no sense. Just look at some of the street names. Now look at Wales and see some of the street names there, and then you'll have a stroke. But yeah, you go license for that phone theft. That's probably what they'll do. They'll issue licenses. I mean, you got to get your license first. That's the first one you have to get. Then you can get other licenses. So you have to get a license in order to thieve people's phones. No, the cop stops some dude on a moped. Oi, did you just rob that man of his phone? And then the dude's like, just shows him the license. Oh, okay, well that's perfectly fine. That's it's an extremely bureaucratic system in the UK. I've spoken with enough people that are aware of this fact to attest to it. And so licenses for everything. Like you need a TV license and shit like that. That's literal. At first, I thought it was mean. When I first saw like the Brit Bong jokes on 4chan years ago, I thought that it was bullshit. I figured that can't possibly be real. Or I figured there was like a one-off case of someone who did something else wrong, and so then there was a problem. No, it just turns out you're not allowed to actually have a TV that works unless you have a license for it because they have public broadcasting available and it's taxpayer funded. Now, this situation makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but that's the way that it works over in Britbongistan. Um, Telling people that they are only allowed to use half the sidewalk is also not going to be long-term very functional anyway. Some people will ignore it. And then if everyone were to stay to the side, the bicyclists and mopeders will simply come up above the curb and then go back down after they snatch somebody's phone. So effectively, you're punishing people for the sin of walking more than anything else, instead of simply having a few more bobbies in the area to sort of make sure it doesn't happen. They've just or you have those cameras literally everywhere. At the very least, it should be easy to identify who took the phone. Then they won't do anything to track them down, apparently. That's been a problem too. It's a lack of enforcement of, a law, not taking other people's things that actually makes sense. The laws that don't make sense are treasured in the United Kingdom. Laws that do make sense appear to be ignored. For instance, when some crazy immigrant decides to rape a 5-year-old and then gets a couple of months of probation, or when someone gets stabbed to death, which also happens regularly. What they should do is they should also paint on the sidewalk and designated stabbing zone. Hey, if you walk here, you may very well get stabbed. Oh, wait, this has actually kind of been happening for a while. There are exclusion zones in urban London and in certain other cities in the UK where you do not want to go because they are effectively under Sharia law. Yeah, they have been completely overrun. This is not a mythology. Had people from the UK show me footage of some of this shit on a regular basis. This is not a laughing matter. I mean, but it's funny as far as the UK government being so insane. And they've always been foppish and highly regulated and bureaucratic. I mean, you look at the rise of the apothecarian out of literally the barber trade, and that was like a government license sort of thing back hundreds of years ago in England. That was a licensed trade to be able to dispense drugs as well as shave people and cut hair and stuff like that. That was a trade of sorts. And morphs over time, tax along with literature, but whatever. So in the UK, yeah, if you stay in too close to the curb, the bobby is not going to help you. It's your fault. You was across the line, mate. That's probably what they would tell you too. We're not going to do anything about it. What do you expect me to do? Chase after that moped? Yeah, we don't have the resources. We're too busy busting people for making online posts. That's about all. Peace out.